Bitterfrost Frontier. To get the heavy glacial gauntlets, either do achievements for the zone or else go do a reward track. For a plump winterberry, just gather winterberries. Honestly, gathering winterberries is an excellent source of unbound magic anyway. It's really easy, so that shouldn't be too complicated. There's a whole bunch of icebound chests in the zone. The only ones that actually move around and are not stationary are the three that are up in the trees in the Griffin area. Though randomly spawn in the top of different trees, but all of the other icebound chests are stationary. Do the hearts for the zone, which you're going to want to do anyway. You're going to want to do it anyway because found in the chests inside Bitter Cold and Bitter Frost Frontier. This one was honestly a pain. The drop rate on it isn't that great, and there are only 5 chests total in the Bitter Cold area, one of which is the diving goggles one. So you have to get every single chest, and it took me like 5 or 6 days of coming in here. And to get into the Bitter Cold, you have to make the elixir. And to make the elixir, you have to have the parts, and then you have to go to the blister cauldron and put the parts together. So be prepared to just be doing hearts a lot each day, trying to get your elixir so that you can get your chests, because that one, the drop rate's really not that awesome. So complete the Gift of Aurora collection. That's basically making the mini Aurora. So you buy the recipe from the main Unbound Magic vendor, and then you can either craft it or you can buy the components. If you have a crafter high enough, you can make the pieces to sell to other players. So there is that. Corrupted Griffin Talon, Corrupted Wolfmaster, Ice Brood Goliath, Ice Brood Norn, Ice Brood Troll. These ones are all things you kill. So right here is the central city at Sorrow's Eclipse Waypoint. Here's your main Unbound Magic vendor where you buy the recipe for Aurora, right? In the big storm event, you will be guarding all the different Coat of Flames, the pillars of fire that are around here, and bosses will spawn. You can't guarantee which one's going to spawn in which spot, but you can basically be in this area. It took me 2 of them because in one of them there was no wolf master that spawned at all. And then in the next one there was no troll that spawned at all, but I had already gotten the troll, but there were a lot of people who were disappointed. But basically you want to be here during the big grand event and just kill the bosses that spawn in this area. Ember Bay, Heavy Dragon Scale Epaulets. Again, do the achievements for the zone, or else do the reward tracks and you'll get these. Gathering from Petrified Stumps gives you this one, so that's straightforward. Defeating the Jade Construct will give you this one. And this one's from doing the jumping puzzle. The jumping puzzle has checkpoints, you can't just port to the end. It sucks. The Jade guy is right here where this mastery point is. You get the mastery point actually by defeating him, and then he'll leave behind rubble in the lava that you can stand on to get the mastery point. So if you've ever wanted to get the mastery point, you know where the Jade guy is. These next ones are all do the hearts, straightforward, just get them hearts in. The next one is Scrit Stashes. So what you want to do is actually buy the little Scrit Forager dudes, and when you come across a Scrit Stash, you want to use the little Forager dude. Make sure you stand there and wait for him to throw you a treasure. The first time I ever did it, I kept spamming it, expecting to get an item, and nothing happened, so I wasted like a whole bunch of my little Forager guys. Assistant Skrilla's Treasure Hunt. This is an event that's way down here by the Scrit Anchorage. She basically accepts donations of gold, and then she goes on a treasure hunt and digs up treasures and stuff. So you have to do that a whole event to get the item. Also, you can get the little Scrit Forager dudes from the Heart vendor at Scrit Anchorage. And another thing is killing the girl who spawns right here. She basically wants to be the captain instead of all of the crew following Rockface, so she gets kind of temperamental, and if you throw elixirs at her, then she actually dies really super fast. So just throw the elixirs because it's her quote unquote medicine. The booze, basically, when she's spinning around throwing tantrums during the fight. So that one's for Captain Hughes, who is the script girl captain who throws tantrums. You also want to defeat Vermingus, the Sloth Queen, and Molten Dominator. So, Vermingus, he spawns in this caldera. He's the big, huge lava worm. The Molten Dominator, he's up right now, actually. He's in the Burning Grotto, where he spawns. And the Sloth is at the Sloth Queen's showground at the Performance Field. So you just wait for those bosses to spawn and kill them and get their drops. Yay! Alright, so Bloodstone Fen is a little interesting. It does not have hearts to do, because Bloodstone Fen and Bloodstone Fen doesn't have hearts, which means that you have to do a few other things that are a little bit gimmicky instead. But let's get started with Bloodstone Crown, do the reward track, or do the achievements for the zone. And again, you can always find the achievements for that part of the story under the story achievements in your achievements story journal right here. Each section's under there. Alright, mined from bloodstone crystals. You're probably going to be mining bloodstone crystals anyway because you want blood rubies. Obtained after defeating Justicar Hableon. Hableon is a daily, and most people do him anyway because of that. He's pretty much a staple of daily stuff. He's up right now, right here. So if you go to Zealot's Overlook Waypoint, and then use the ley line to glide up a little bit and come around, you can just land in there where Hableon is. But easy peasy, dropped off Hableon. Okay, next up. Dropped by White Mantle. Just kill any White Mantle. Dropped by Jade Constructs. Kill the Jade Constructs. They spawn, and there's a whole bunch of them, and you slowly make your way down the crater. So, just do that. Dropped by the Ghosts in Bloodstone Fen. Bloodstone Elementals. Where's the one? Enemies with your gliding skills. Defeating Unbound Magic Garden. Okay. So this is the giant crater, and this is where the Jade Constructs appear. You have to beat all of the Jade Constructs to be able to get down into the bottom where you defeat the Unbound Magic Guardian. Then you kill him for the drop. I want to be really clear. All of these things where it says kill this and get the drop, you may have to kill it more than one time, including bosses. The drop rate's pretty high. I honestly didn't have to kill a boss in specific more than once, except for maybe like 3 times the entire time I did every single boss for every single zone. So the drop rate's really, really high, but just be aware you gotta kill all the Jade Constructs so that you can get the Unbound Guardian. Bloodstone Elementals, tons of them spawn around here, and what I did, honestly, was just glide around using my gliding abilities to attack Bloodstone Elementals till I got the Bloodstone Elemental drop, plus got my kill drop. I had to kill, I think, 50 to 80 creatures before I got the item for having killed something with my gliding abilities. So that was a little annoying. It has to be nighttime for the ghosts to appear down here in the canyons, and they're there before the bosses appear and stuff. There's technically ghosts that appear over by Hableon, but I never got anything from them. I got it from the ones that appear down in the basin in the canyon. Now the thing is you got these abilities, right? So say you want to kill some stuff. You have to actually get these abilities with Unbound Magic from the main vendor on the map, who is on the ship I was just at. and you can buy the flying skills and then use those to kill stuff. Here's bloodstone crystals. Whee! Hopefully I get a blood ruby. Nope, the drop rate's terrible. So dropped by killing enemies near unstable rifts. Again, one of the dailies for this zone is to close 3 unstable rifts. So if you're running around doing the daily, you'll be fine. Honestly, you just go to each one of the little islands until you see a circle of there's an event there, and then you just kill things until the rift closes. It's not very complicated. You also are going to have to buy an item, and this one's, I guess, what they did to make up for the fact that there's no hearts on this map. But this, buying this from Natto in Bloodstone Fen, you need blood rubies to buy this. And it's a pain in the butt because you spend a bunch of blood rubies to get this, and it's not worth it at all. But you do it for the trinket. And then this gathered from Unbound Magic nodes in Bloodstone Fen literally just glide around into the little purple swirlies, like these right here. Just glide into them, and you're good. Now the nice thing about doing all this crap is you get all of these items for it, right? For having done all this stuff. Well, when you do so, you can salvage them. Now, the big amulets, they turn into karma. And all of your little items that you get from the zones turn into unbound magic when you salvage them. It's not a lot, but it is better than having to freaking destroy stuff. Destroying things is never a fun mechanic. So I'm really glad that they made this collection you able to actually do something at least semi-useful with the collection items that you get. But anyway, for buying, you want to come on the ship, and right up above, when you come up these stairs, is Natto. So here he is. This is where you buy that one item for, and this is also where you buy your abilities for when you're gliding in Bloodstone Fen. So just come talk to this guy when you have lots of unbound magic and blood rubies, and he will be your friend. And then, as you saw at the beginning, once you get each one of these amulets done, you will get your trinket all done and get your Gift of Valor. Yay! So you will want, in order to start your legendary trinket collection at all, to have gotten sentient collecting eaters from each one of the zones. So for instance, for Ember Bay, to get the eater, you have to do the token collector achievement, and you have to go find every single token so that you can get your eater. Once you have all 4 of the eaters that you can get for these zones, so you get an eater from Bloodstone Fen, from Ember Bay, Lake Doric, and Draconis Mons. Once you get all of your eaters from each one of these areas, you will be able to get your legendary trinkets started. So for instance, Sentient Oddity is from doing Sin's business achievement in Lake Doric. I take that and all 3 of the other ones to a Mystic Forge, either in Lion's Arch, World vs. World, if you've got a Mystic Forge conduit, doesn't really matter which Mystic Forge. And you drop all 4 of the eaters in the Mystic Forge, and you will get yourself a Sentient Seed. The Sentient Seed is what you need to start the Legendary Trinket collection, and then you'll also get a Gleam of Sentience, which if you open it, it has all the other eaters inside of it. I've already used some today, so one of them's not there. But the point is you get to keep the ability to use the eaters, plus you get to start your Legendary Trinket collection.